Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nova Show Real Estate Records. I am here as your host, Karla Rivera, and today we have the privilege of sitting down with a truly inspiring guest, Skye Grant. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Skye. And he is a standout agent with a unique background, starting in existing home sales and quickly transitioning to new home construction, where he's been a guiding force in the community since 2015. Skye's commitment to creating an outstanding experience for every client truly sets him apart, with a reputation for responsiveness, a knack for helping clients envision their dream homes, and a deep dedication to local craftsmanship. Skye has become a trusted name in Utah's new home construction space. In fact, we are here because he earned his spot as a top 500 realtor in Utah last year, which is a huge accomplishment in this competitive market.
Well,
So,
thank you.
congrats. Yes, today we're going to dive deep into your journey and just explore your insights into new home market versus residential, and of course, get a peek into how you balance being truly successful, a family man, and all the in between. Sound
Thank
good?
you. Hey, I'll do my best. It's not too deep of
That's
a
good.
dive though, so
Yeah, well, hey,
all right.
whatever, however we get,
Okay.
but I'm just happy that you're here.
Thanks, Carl.
Excited to learn. So great. Okay, let's start off with really your transition. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you quickly, early in your career, made the decision to go from residential. I mean, it's still residential, but more of that traditional sale to new construction.
Correct. Let's see. I started out in the men's clothing industry as far
Oh,
as sales goes.
okay.
Had a high-end men's clothing store. Um, Decided to get out of it at the time. Um, and when I decided to become a realtor, I thought I was going to go directly into the realm of new home construction.
Oh, so you always had that on your
That was
site.
kind of
Yeah.
like the goal, but it just didn't feel comfortable when I first interviewed with one of the companies that I interviewed with. So
Okay.
I decided to go with a brother who was already a realtor, and he's very good, and so I learned from him my first
Oh,
year.
that's so
Yeah,
interesting. So is he still in real estate as well?
he is
Okay.
he's he gosh, he was with Berkshire Hathaway, and let's see, I believe that's who he's still with.
Okay.
So
Nice. Well, that's
uh,
fun. Then you guys can have something to talk about work-wise without getting
yeah,
too annoyed at each other.
yeah, he could handle me for about a year, and
Yeah.
that's how long we stayed together. And then I made the transition over
It's
to new home
always
construction.
interesting
Yeah,
to hear how family works together, but that's neat.
yeah,
That was your start.
yeah. I learned a lot from him. He's very, like I said, he's very good, and and it was really good for me to learn, what a realtor, selling homes,
Yeah.
what they do. I was
Wait,
not in
you
this
mean you
field,
don't
and
just sit in your office and collect checks?
that's what it looked like, but
Yeah.
you really got to work. So
That's great. Yeah, and we'll talk a little more about
yeah.
what that looks like, of course, but as you sit now with the new construction and you're helping clients envision their dream home, or really just creating that, what does that look like for you? Are you a part of that process? Do you go
Okay.
to the design appointments, or
Okay, so my role, I am a manager over a certain community. My
oh,
community's
okay.
name is Jackson right now. We sell mid to high end homes. All homes right now seem to be high end, just
It's
because.
definitely starting mid, yes, in
Yep.
all of Utah.
So we're like mid 500s, up to the mid 800s in my
Okay,
community.
nice.
It's a nice little community out in Herriman. At the moment, we've got a new phase coming up with 53 new homes.
Oh, wow.
53 new, excuse me, lots to sell. And so I'll be there for a couple years
Nice. And what's
until
your
I move on.
standard turnaround time on when you break
Yeah.
ground too? I mean, I know there's a lot more that goes into it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Finding the property in the first place, getting all the soil tested, all those things. But once
Yeah.
you break ground, what's typically your turnaround time?
Well, when people come in and they write a contract with me, we go over structural upgrades. So
Okay.
I decide if they decide with me if they want an 8 8-foot basement or a 9-foot basement. If they want a second sink in the master, or if they want, you know, a second tub, or a different, an extra shower, or those type of
Yeah,
things. And it's kind of fun,
of
people,
course.
get to design their homes, instead
That
of
is
just having
fun.
a package. We let them decide basically everything that they want, in those homes, at that price range.
How neat.
Yeah.
Well, and I know you mentioned you actually have a really unique opportunity that you are still able to help people buy and sell outside of the new construction. Is that right?
I'm lucky that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I don't hear that often, so that is
a lot of builders
rare.
don't allow you to sell
Yeah,
outside. Uh, right Homes, they're a local builder. Um, they're very kind, and they allow me to occasionally, sell to family and friends. And
yeah.
I really stay busy within the neighborhood, but
I can
it's nice
imagine.
to help
You'll
family and
be busy
friends.
coming
Yeah.
up with the 53 lots you said?
Yeah, thankfully,
Yeah, and is
it's
that in
nice to have
Herriman as
land.
well?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
It's part of the same community. It's our last
Nice.
phase. Right now, I'm trying to sell our last 7 lots that have walkout basements. They cost a little bit
Oh,
more, but
nice.
they're going to be beautiful, and they have a great view
Right.
to the southeast. So they'll be looking at the south, the
Oh,
mountains,
yeah.
out in the
And right
valley.
now is the perfect time for that. I
So
mean,
pretty.
it's always beautiful, but
Yeah.
when you start seeing the snow, like right now,
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
beautiful
can't
out
see it,
there.
but we have a good view here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Little snow peak mountains.
Yeah.
It'll be a great view as you
How
walk out
pretty.
your
Well,
view.
and it's
Uh-huh.
grown a lot in Herriman. I remember even 10 years ago being like, oh, I gotta go to Herriman.
It's
Now
out in
it's
the
like, oh, it's
boonies.
just
Yeah.
right around the corner.
So I grew up in Holiday,
Oh, okay.
and moved out to Herriman.
Nice.
Gosh, in 2002, when it was just
Oh,
a small
yeah.
town still.
It was not developed yet, for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's gone from about 10,000 to maybe 65,000 in
Wow.
that time.
That's
So
quick.
but Herriman has everything right
Yeah,
now. Like, you don't need to leave. And we found that because,
totally.
you've got Costco's, you've got
Yeah.
Walmart's, you've got all the best shopping.
Well, and
Uh,
in the last
uh
3 years, you guys have gotten really nice, newer, trendy
oh yeah,
restaurants.
Mountain View Village is like
Yeah,
5 minutes away from where I sell, and so yeah, people
nice.
don't have to travel very very far to go out on a nice date, have fun. So
I travel to Herriman now to
yeah,
have a nice time because
yeah,
it's there. I'm like, okay, it makes
absolutely.
sense. Well, cool. Okay, let me see. I also do want to dive about, deeper into the challenges that you experience because it's different coming
Yeah.
from new construction to just purchasing a home that's already built, right? So, what are some of the unique challenges you face?
All right. Well, it okay when it comes down to it, it really is getting people through the door to see what we have.
Okay.
And so what I've done is I've created, just a nice group of good realtors that I contact constantly, who, it seems like the best realtors seem to sell about 90% of the
Yeah.
merchandise that's out there. And we've got a lot of homes, we've got lots to build, and we sell a lot of spec homes, pre-designed
Oh, yeah.
homes, both. And so, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of lots to sell. And these people have come to me, and I've come to them, and we work off of each other well.
I
Just
love
so I'm
that. So, it
grateful for all the
sounds like,
realtors that are out there.
and
Come to
thank
my
you for
neighborhood.
saying that.
Uh-huh.
I think that is a misconception of, like being a buyer's agent, how the experience will be going into a new construction market. But it's great that you feel this way. And it sounds like you're doing a great job at nurturing relationships, really, is what it sounds like. If you're
That's
reaching
what it
out to
comes down
people,
to. Oh yeah, and another thing that I wanted to mention. Let's see if I can keep my thoughts straight.
hey, if not, we can pivot. That's
Okay.
totally fine.
I wanted to go back a little bit on like how long we take to
Yeah.
build our homes. I just didn't
Yeah, no,
fully answer
please.
that
This
question.
is totally
Okay.
normal. We're supposed to
Okay.
talk about it, whatever comes up.
So what we do is we've got a good little system. First of all, right homes, they do pay 3%, to the realtors who bring
Okay. That's
their
great.
clients in. 3% off the base price.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good
That's
these
pretty
days,
across the board,
because
right?
a lot
Is
of
to go
builders
off of
are
this.
doing 1 or 2% right now.
Yeah, no, you're right. I meant, but
Hmm.
typically it goes off of the base price, right? That's more
That's pretty
standard.
typical.
Yeah.
Yep. And another good thing about the community is that I'm thankful it does front and backyard landscaping, where my
Oh,
competitors
yeah.
only do front yard, and so it makes it so much more of a selling point, because I've put in
Absolutely.
2 backyards myself with homes that I've built, and man, it's a pain in the butt, and it
Yeah.
costs a
Or
lot of
it
extra
quickly
money.
grows in the
Oh, you're
numbers.
good.
You're like, oh,
Absolutely.
it's not 7,000. It's closer to 20 or,
Yeah.
whatever, depending on the size, I'm sure.
So it's so much better for our buyers.
That is.
And then, from contract to when we close, it's typically 8 to 9 months right now.
Okay.
So you go through the design center after we have our contract meeting. Then they have 1 or 2 meetings with our designer. Then they go through and they talk with our superintendent and our designer in another meeting called a pre-construction meeting. Um, and they finalize everything that they have chosen, and that's very difficult sometimes, but that's where we have kind of our cutoff.
Yeah.
And at that point, we send in their house for their permit to the city, and that's about a 2 to 3 month period. And then
Oh,
once we
wow.
dig the hole, it's 5 months. My
Okay.
superintendent's really good,
Yeah, that's a good,
and it's 5 months from when that hole's dug until they move in.
that's
So
great. And so that's what you call like breaking ground, right?
yeah,
Yeah, once
yeah.
that's started. Cool.
So
That's pretty quick.
it
That's
is.
good to know. And
And
how
then
big are the homes typically where you in the community you're
you
working?
betcha. So we've got 3 Rambler homes.
Okay.
They're kind of our starting prices, in the
Yeah.
mid 500s up to about 600 on the base prices. And they are 3,200, 3,600, and 3,800 square
Oh,
feet.
okay.
That's
That's a
including
great size.
base level and the main level and the lower level in Utah. And then
Yeah.
we have 7 2 stories, and they range from 600 to 775. So and they're big homes. The
Yeah.
the largest being about 4,400 square feet in that
Oh, yeah,
neighborhood.
that's a good size.
Yep.
And do they have basements or no?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. They all
nice.
have basements, and like
I
I
know in
mentioned
Utah
earlier,
that's a
yeah.
thing for sure.
Oh,
Other
it is
states
a big
not
thing.
so much,
Yeah.
but here it is.
We do cold storages if you want.
Oh, nice.
Like I said earlier, our standard is an 8 foot basement, but we can do 9 foot as well in that neighborhood with
Okay.
all of our homes. And I love having a finished basement. So I always suggest
It's a
first
lot more
thing to
space
do
for
the nine
sure.
foot because you get more light because you got taller windows. And it just feels more open and inviting and just a
Yeah.
great space. Either way, we build a very good home.
Yeah. Well, and then a question that I have, but I bet other people are wondering is typically what is the range that you're seeing when people do upgrades? Like what would you say is an average of where it stays?
That's a good question. But for the most part, I'd say 2/3 of the options come with our structural upgrades.
Okay.
I usually do anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 worth of structural upgrades, and then people will go in and do another 10,000 to 20,000
In
in the design
cosmetics.
center. Yeah,
Okay.
and because it's so much fun, putting the
Yeah. Oh,
colors
I bet.
together, the
And
the
quickly you're
colors,
like,
everything.
ooh,
Yeah,
what's
and I usually
everything?
don't go to that meeting. I
Okay.
just make a handoff to our designer. She's super awesome. Her name's Jenny,
Great.
and it's pretty seamless.
But
Because
you
it's
do
within a week
handle
or two.
the structural one.
I do.
Okay. And by that, like, give me a good example of maybe your most common upgrade for the structure.
Well, we were talking about eight
Mm-hmm.
8 foot basements versus 9 foot basements. So that's one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
so I always suggest that they do a 9 foot basement, and it's usually only between $6,900 and $7,900.
Oh, okay.
Which really
For
to
the
me
whole
is not,
basement.
yeah, not very much for an extra foot of height. But some of the other common upgrades, instead of doing a base kitchen, we have our chef's kitchen, which
Oh,
has a
nice.
hood and a vent, and then your
Yeah.
built-in microwave and oven. Just it looks prettier.
Yeah.
But some people don't need that, and they don't want to put their money in that. But I say put it in the kitchen, and also put it into your master bathroom.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you do like maybe a separate tub and a separate shower.
Yeah.
Do those type of things.
Do
And
you see the walkouts being a common one or not so much? That's one that I would be probably like leaning towards
oh yeah,
just for the convenience of it. And
well, like I mentioned, right now I've got 7 more walkout lots, and what I mean, there's a difference between a walkout basement, right,
yeah,
and a basement entrance.
yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
so the walkout, we've got again 7 of those where you just walk out from your basement directly into your yard, where you've got the other option, of doing the basement
Entry,
entry.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brain fart there. Basement entry where you walk
I
out
saw
and
the
you've got to go up
words
the
coming,
stairs.
so I'm
Yeah,
like, oh yes, this is what
it's
we're
hard for
looking
me. All
for.
right, but no, and so yeah, that's a big thing right now because a lot of people are renting
Yeah.
their basements as
Oh,
well,
that's true.
and that's allowed in our community.
Oh, okay. Good
So,
to know this.
uh-huh.
Because there are restrictions
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of the time, so that's really helpful to know. And well, okay, so I know that you made top 500 realtor last year, and congratulations again, but
thank you.
what do you think really sets you apart? Right? I mean, we can talk about all the construction companies or all the realtors. I think we all know a realtor, right?
Yeah,
Or several, but we all tend to have our own niche. And so what would you
oh,
say
for
sets
sure.
you apart even within the new construction community?
Well, I don't know. I don't like to brag either, but I think that when people come in, they feel comfortable with me. I
I
just,
like that.
they, I let them do basically what they want to do when they come into my model home. If they want to go see the house without me sitting there, looking over their shoulder, hey, just go look at the house. But
That's
I
nice.
but I do, and you just kind of read people the best you can. If you just step out of the way, uh, that's usually the best thing to do because the house will sell itself,
Hmm.
and if they want information, they'll ask.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not like following them around trying
I have people
to aggressively make
who
things
tell me,
happen.
I'm so grateful that you're not following me around
I
and,
bet that would
trying to
feel
push
different.
everything, because it makes people feel uncomfortable. And I'm kind of like that too when I go shopping.
Yeah,
I don't want a salesperson saying, "Oh, how can I help you?" every 5 seconds. I
sure.
want to look at things. I kind of want to touch things, and I think people feel the
So
same.
you apply it
Yeah,
to the people coming in. That makes
absolutely.
sense. Sounds authentic to what you would want.
Oh yeah,
And I get that. Oh my gosh, how many times have we gone shopping and we know we're there to buy something? They're like, "Can I help you?" You're like, "Never mind. I'm out of here."
you bet, you bet.
Yeah.
And the people who have questions, they're direct.
Sure. Or you go and you find what you like, and then it's like,
Exactly.
hey, can I get it in this size? Or what are the options?
Absolutely. And then if they like the house, and typically they do,
Yeah.
I enjoy taking them through the community. It gets me out of my cave, my little office there,
Yeah. Well,
and it's fun.
not only is the company you're working for reputable, but you are recognized in the real estate community. So that's something, to be proud of as well, and
I've
that
had
you
some good
haven't.
people that I've learned from too. So like my brother and a few
Yeah.
other realtors who have just given me good advice along the way. So
I love hearing that.
thanks.
Yeah, it's good not to forget that we have mentors and people that are obviously helping us all along.
Yeah,
Um, Speaking of, and I'm gonna kind of jump around,
you're
but
good.
what is a really memorable story that you've had, whether it was in the new construction or early on when you were just doing already built homes or with
Oh
the
my
few you've
goodness.
done still?
Um, the first one that sticks out to me, um, and because I'm kind of a sentimental softy type,
Oh, I
we
love that.
we've got a 55 plus neighborhood right next to us that we also
Okay,
build.
nice.
But there's some 55 plus people who don't want to live in those neighborhoods because they don't want to feel old, right? They want to feel like they're part of a family neighborhood.
Yeah,
They still like kids and they want to, be maybe a leader in the neighborhood or whatever. Don't know all the reasons, but there was this cute little couple who came in. I want to say at the beginning of this year,
oh, okay, so
and
fairly recent.
they had been, you could tell they had been searching. They came in with their realtor, and I was kind of busy with somebody at the point that they came in, but I told their realtor, because he explained to me what they were looking for. I said, go take them through this house. I don't have it available right now, but we're building one, down the street. And and so they went over and they went through a couple of the houses, and it was a Rambler, a little bit older couple,
Mm-hmm.
and they really needed this neighborhood, because it's close to somewhere where they like to be,
Yeah.
close to family, close to a church thing. So what was awesome, and it's really short, they came back and they said, is it anything, is it going to be anything, is the spec home that you have available, is it going to be anything like the house that we just walked through? And I said, yes, it's the exact same plan. If you have any questions, we can sit down and go over, what we had already put in structurally,
Yeah.
so that what's in the house. And so we did that, and it was exactly what they were looking for. I mean, I believe in God. I believe in prayer, and they had been praying to look for a house and find the
Oh,
house,
wow.
because they had been searching everywhere and they couldn't find it, but they found it in my neighborhood. And I wasn't a huge part of it, but she started to like tear up.
Oh, how
And
special. Yeah.
yeah,
To
and
be a
so
part of that.
to have something that they needed and to be the right fit for somebody, it really makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
And they've moved in since and just been a great part of the neighborhood, and I love them. They call me and
Yeah.
talk to me all the time. They'll stop by, and I see them out in the neighborhood too because I live in
Oh,
Herriman, so
yeah.
it's a good thing.
But how great that you created that relationship beyond the sell of the home.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, we're really in this industry to create relationships and those connections that leave an impact, like
Oh
you
yeah.
sharing this memory right now.
Well,
How
I,
sweet that they still
I'm
reach
lucky.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have good friends that I make along the way too.
Yeah.
And some people just see me as a realtor, and that's fine. But like the people who want to be friends, I love to be friends too. So
That's great.
there you go.
Well, how sweet that you got to be part of that and the answer to their prayers. It
Hey.
sounds like very, very sweet. I bet you get to experience lots of stories similar, though, where people are just so grateful and you're a
Yes,
part of the whole process or making it happen when maybe even families don't think it's possible and then it
it's
does.
true. It's true. And what's kind of funny is that the people who are more grateful, we have a tendency to want to help,
Oh,
to
of
help more.
course.
And then the people who are picking at you, you almost don't want to,
Yeah,
you know?
you put up guards for
Yeah,
sure because you have to. It's a protective
yeah. And
response.
and so,
Yes,
people like one thing that I've learned along the way is show gratitude on both ends,
absolutely.
and you'll get a lot more back. So,
I love hearing that,
yeah.
especially knowing how successful you are and you
Uh,
sound like you're doing it from the heart. So
well,
it's
we,
very
we, we
sweet.
sell a good product. We're a local company, and so that people are not a number. We really care about them. I mean, like, I had somebody call me this morning, who said, "Hey, I noticed something on my build. It seems abnormal to me, but tell me about it." And so we were able to sit and talk about it. I was able to call my superintendent. He
Yeah.
said he's going to take a look at it, and he will. I've got a meeting set up with him tomorrow where I can return and report to our customer and our buyer, and just be responsive to their needs and wants. So,
Yeah, and I love that. And I know that's one of the things you're recognized for is your responsiveness.
well,
So,
thanks.
yes. No,
Trying.
thank you for taking care of people. I mean, that's what this whole life and industry is about.
It is.
So,
It is.
it's good to hear.
And they always teach you, in realtor school,
Yes.
do what you say you're going to do. And if you do that, you're going to be okay. So,
I mean, that should be the rule of life.
yeah. Yeah,
Outside of the
absolutely.
golden rule.
And
It's a
and
good one.
sometimes I struggle, sometimes I'm late, sometimes, but I do my best,
Yeah.
to do that. So, there you go.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
And since we're on a more sentimental side of things,
Okay.
I would love to hear more about you. Like, who is Skye Grant
Oh
outside of real
dear.
estate. I know you told me briefly in our first conversation you're a family man.
Yeah.
So, what are, tell me a little more and
Okay.
also just what you like to do for hobbies.
Oh boy.
People connect with, with you
Yeah.
more that way when they have something in common, or
Well,
it's just good to hear.
and that's why I like to be friends with people because I'm interested, genuinely
Yeah.
interested in, maybe their family, their work, whatever. So that's how I get people to trust me,
Yes.
But I really do, care
Well,
about like what
because
they're
you
doing.
take the time to get to know them,
Yeah.
of course.
And
Makes
usually,
sense.
people who have kids, they if you ask them about their kids, they'll talk forever, right? Because
Yes.
I don't know, as a
That's funny
parent,
you
I'm
say that.
proud. Uh-huh. So I've got four girls and one boy, ranging from
Wow.
23 to 16, almost 16. She's ready to get her license.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
it's kind of exciting. I've got twins who are juniors. They're 17, and my youngest daughter's 15, almost 16. So I'll
Okay.
have
So
three
oldest
teenagers
is
at
a
Mountain
girl and
Ridge.
youngest. And then
Yes,
you
my
have
son
two
is
sons.
number two,
Okay.
and then three more daughters. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's great. I've been married for 25 years. Got married in 1999.
That's amazing.
Yep, to my college sweetheart, and
Oh,
and we're happy.
how lucky for
Yeah.
both of you. Yeah.
So we've lived in Herriman, so I really I get to sell in the community,
You also know it.
but I know it
Yes.
well because I've lived there for since 2002.
Oh, yeah. So you've raised your family
Yeah,
there.
seen all
Wonderful.
the growth, and I know genuinely what if people like the outdoors like I do. I
Yeah.
used to run Spartans a lot.
Oh, cool.
And so I would run up in the trail on the trail system that's
You have really beautiful trails. Yeah.
yeah, that it's easily accessible over by Yellow Fork Canyon or
Mm-hmm.
over by Black Ridge Reservoir. There and it's beautiful. I
It
mean, you get up
is.
there early in the morning and
Yeah.
you get the sun up. If you like to mountain bike, you can bike those same trails. And there's a great little trail system
Sounds like
going
you're doing a
throughout.
lot.
Yeah, Harriman.
Are your kids
Yeah,
pretty active as well?
they are. They are. I mean, my son, he played sports. My three younger daughters, they're on the throws team at Mountain Ridge. So
Oh,
they
what
they
is
do
that?
discus and
Yeah.
they do shot put.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
a
Wow.
proud father, always trying
Yes.
to help them
Sounds
out.
like they're very athletic and strong.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
how awesome.
They're good kids. They're making good decisions in
Yeah,
life.
and I'm
So
sure your wife is so busy trying to
we're
keep
going through a
things.
remodel right now. And remodeling is the hardest. It's so much harder than building a
Oh,
house.
yeah.
We've built a couple homes, and remodeling takes twice as long, and it costs like twice as much. So
Oh, man.
so
That's good
I've
to
had
hear. So buy
yeah
a new construction
yeah find
instead,
new
you guys.
construction. Yeah, learn
Don't
from my
remodel.
example exactly. So we've seen both ends, and if I
Yeah.
were to do it again, I would build. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
One other thing that I love, I guess talking about me, just last thing.
Yes, please. That's what we're here
I'm
for.
a pickleball fanatic.
Okay.
So, uh-huh.
I have never played, but it's on
I'm
my
sorry.
bucket list.
Okay.
Yes, I am as well. I hear great things.
So much fun.
Do you have some great pickleball courts over there?
So the neighborhood that I'm selling,
Yeah.
uh, it's in Herriman, and Herriman City is going to put in a big park
Oh,
right next to our
nice.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
It could be in a year, it could be in 2 years, but there are supposed to be six pickleball courts there.
Look at that.
And so
More things
I'll be
coming to
spending some time
Herriman
over
that you
there.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've already talked with several neighbors who
Yeah.
we're just ready to to hook up at the pickleball courts and play a
That's
little bit.
awesome.
So that's part of the fun that I get to
Yeah.
have, is selling what's going to be there.
Absolutely.
So
Well, it's great that you know it so well and you've spent enough time to see the growth and all the development personally and on a business standpoint. So that's awesome. Not a lot of people can say that. I would say that's a unique thing you have going as well, where you can really
thank
speak
you.
from truth and experience. Like, hey, yep, I live here. I've grown my family. These are the things and the
Absolutely.
benefits, right?
So I'm lucky enough that I mean my older kids went to Herriman High School, and then
Yeah. Oh,
and
cool.
then the younger three had gone over to Mountain Ridge because I live
Yeah.
closer to that neighborhood. So
Well, and
I know the
Herman
whole
is more
city.
new, right?
It
That
is a
one,
newer
yeah,
city. When I first moved out there, I hardly even knew the name of the place. I
yeah.
just knew that okay, it's this neighborhood and it's in a city called Herriman because I was coming from Holiday.
Very different,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
we
Still
we
very
were West
different.
Siders all of a sudden,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
But even how it's developed is just so different from the lifestyle of
it is the
Holiday.
place to be
Yeah.
now. I mean, absolutely love it. All the new growth is out there, and again,
Hmm.
like all of the good shopping,
Yes,
it's
and
amazing there.
restaurants. I'm a foodie,
Restaurants,
so
oh
I'm
yeah.
like, yes, catch me over there for some yummy food.
Well, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I
So
love that. Well, so how are you balancing all of this? You know, you've got obviously a busy schedule with work,
yeah,
but you have a large family, and I
I've
want
got
to
a
hear.
Utah family. How's
Yeah,
that?
that's true. Yes,
So
Utah,
so
we
sure,
love
I've
to
got a
have
large family. You bet.
large families.
You bet. So first of all, I've got an amazing wife who she
That's
works part
great.
time. She also works at Right Homes. And
Okay.
so she sends in the purchase orders. So I've kind of gotten in the office
Yeah,
when
but
I,
wow. So she's
yeah,
working and working, like
yeah,
home
yeah.
and work.
And she does most of it from home. So,
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's
she's there
nice.
for our kids when they get
Yeah,
home from, from school, even though they're older now. It's nice to have a parent at home, and I'm grateful for that.
absolutely.
And, besides that, I'm a church going guy. So, so I've got, kind of a church job that I do that's fun on Sundays. Get
Okay.
to work with the little kids. We call them
Oh,
the primary. And so I've gone from a more responsible job to a primary job, which is actually so much fun,
yeah,
because
I
you get to
bet.
be like,
A kid again.
yeah, have a little bit fun,
How,
talk
what age
in
group?
a simpler, at a simpler level, and they're 9-year-olds. So
Okay,
there's like
yeah.
four
So
boys,
they're old
three
enough
girls
to
in my
have
class.
opinions for
Yeah.
sure and interact.
Oh
That's,
yeah. Yeah, they're strong little personalities, but it's fun to, to
yeah,
to teach them and to hear them sing and that type of thing. So,
that's very
anyways,
sweet. Well, and hey, I know you said your kids are older, but
yeah.
kids never stop needing their parents for all the parts of life. I mean, I'm in
That's
my
for sure.
30s and I still I'm like, "Mom,
Yeah,
I need you. Excuse me.
it's
Can you
true.
come over?
Yep. You
Yeah,
always
what
need
do
your
I do
parents.
here? Or
Yeah.
how do I make this, you know?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh
that's great.
goodness. So those. I mean,
How
that's
lucky that
me.
you can work together though with your
Yeah.
wife as well. It sounds like you have a real partnership in home and outside of the home.
It's true. It's true. So we get to work directly all the time, and she puts up with me, and she really does put up with me,
Well, and you
because
guys have been together since college, you mentioned?
yeah, since
Wow, how
'99.
special.
An LDS, Church of Jesus Christ of
Yeah,
Latter-day
yeah,
Saints
yeah.
member, and served a mission and came home. And
And she waited for you? Wow.
no, I met her
Oh,
right
okay.
after.
Oh, yes, college. You're right. I
You
forget.
bet.
You go pretty young, right? Yeah.
I got married when I was 22. I was on the baseball team at BYU. So
Okay.
I,
How fun.
when people come in, I get to talk sports with them, and
Yes.
that's easy to
You
do.
know, the more
Uh,
you do, though, the better you can connect with people.
yeah.
And I love that even now, being so busy with your family and work, you're still
Hmm.
open to learning and doing things from
Oh,
sports
if
to,
you think you know it all,
yeah,
that's when you start going downhill. Like you always need to learn,
I
and
agree.
have
Stay a
new
student.
experiences. Yep.
Absolutely.
So it's fun though.
Great. Well,
Life is
wow.
fun.
Yeah, you have a lot of things happening at all times.
You bet.
So, very special that you get to take that and also connect with your clients. Like you said, how different is it to have someone come in and now you're talking about sports or pickleball or whatever,
Yeah.
and you take that pressure away. I bet. That's probably why it's so easy for them to trust you, because you become their friend.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And of course there are the people who are just there to
Oh,
get
sure.
answers. There's different personalities, but it's so much fun too. If you get out of their way and then you sell
Yeah,
yourself, it makes it a lot easier for people to open up. You ask questions. If
absolutely.
you have genuine interest in what they're looking for, they can feel it. So
I agree.
I've
Well, and not just that. I mean, it sounds like you're very aware of this, right? Some people don't want to become best buds.
no,
And so if
no,
they're just there to get the answers, good of you to recognize that, and you can just get to business and say, "Hey, yeah, this is what we've got." And then the friendship probably follows,
oh
right? Like
yeah,
once you gain that rapport, and we all build it a little differently.
for
So
sure.
absolutely, there's those personalities that are like, "Give me the answers first, and then we can
That's right.
talk about this."
That's right. And there's so many different people who come through those doors, but but it's a fun, unique challenge with each one.
Oh,
Try and make them
absolutely.
feel comfortable. Yeah.
I love that about real estate, actually. It's
Yeah.
like we always just get new experiences,
Right.
and the market changes give us opportunities to learn and
It's true.
find new skill sets. Right, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
we can either like run and hide or say, okay, thank you for the opportunity, let me see how I can
Let's take
figure
it.
this out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you, for example, you're doing a
Mm-hmm.
great job doing
Oh,
this
thank you.
podcast and helping me feel very
No.
comfortable.
Oh, I'm
So,
glad to hear. I
so
know.
I was sweating it,
By
to be
the way,
honest.
it doesn't look like it, but
Okay.
this is out of Skye's comfort zone. But no,
Hey.
I would never know that. So,
Well, thanks.
yeah. Thank you for agreeing to do this. I know it took a little bit of convincing, but I'm happy
Well, thanks
you're
for having me
here.
back.
Yes, yes, of course. So, just to kind of I do want to be respectful of your time, but I want to end with two more things. One being if you can share with us what some of the misconceptions are when people come to new construction versus an already built home. And then we'll end with some advice you could give to either people just getting started in the industry or your past self. Like, if you were
Okay.
looking at Skye Grant 10 years ago or 20 years
Right.
ago, what advice would you give?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that was big. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll try and keep this as concise as I can. Um, so when people come in, the advice that I give them is to stick to your budget.
Okay. Very good advice.
There are too
Very
many people,
simple and
yeah,
good advice.
that
I
try
love
and
it.
do too much,
Yeah.
so know what your budget is as well as you can when you first start looking. Go
Yeah.
in, talk with the lender, whether it be somebody that you already know or talk with our lender. Find
Yeah.
out, what you can afford and then stick to it. When you go to the design center, when you're talking with me up front, just know what you can do
Yeah.
and stick with that. I've only had people get in trouble when they don't, right? So that's my number one.
Well, how great of you though to keep people on that track
Right.
because I could see it going the other way. Like, oh yeah, let's just see how far we can stretch this.
Oh
But
yeah.
very mindful to bring that advice and also be like a helping tool for them where,
Well,
hey, no guys, let's do
exactly.
this. It's okay. We can still make it happen within your
Because
budget.
we've got beautiful homes and our standard homes are beautiful,
Yeah.
I mean that, and I love walking. In fact, it's better for me to walk through our homes that are more basic with people than the homes that are super upgraded, because they can see how nice they are
Yeah.
without paying for more.
Oh, I love that.
you
And
know,
know that they
at the
don't have
design
to.
center. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's one thing that I really have going for me is I work for a local builder that has high standards.
Yeah. That's great.
Um,
Well,
there
and
you
it
go.
sounds like you know that it's good quality, so you're really selling from truth. It's not
Oh,
like, well,
you have
let's
to
see
believe
about
in what you
this.
sell in
Yeah,
order to sell it successfully.
absolutely.
You really do. And I've built two right homes
Oh, okay.
before
So yeah, you have
I
built
ever
with
became a
them.
realtor. Yeah, so
Oh,
I knew they were a great company, and so I'm grateful to be with them.
yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, and this was before you were a realtor.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So you had the experience firsthand.
Yeah, while I was still, hustling and selling men's clothing, yeah, my wife and I
That's
were able to build
amazing.
two homes and out in Herriman,
Yeah.
and they were easy to work with.
So
Loved
did you
them.
grow up in Herriman or where did you grow up?
No, I grew up in Holiday.
Okay,
Yeah,
where you lived first. Yeah.
yeah, Skyline High School, go Eagles, and never thought I'd leave the East Side.
Yeah.
And my family, most of them have been the East Siders
Yeah.
and stayed there, but
You broke that
yeah,
cycle.
we
Nice.
broke the chain. We went out, became West Siders, and love Herriman. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
And what about
beautiful,
your wife? Did
great
she grow
neighborhood.
up in Utah as well?
She did. She grew
Yeah.
up in Sandy Draper,
Oh, okay.
and so we both made the move, and we've loved
Yeah.
Herriman. It's a great place to grow a family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. But I think that of Utah in general. I remember when I was growing up, I was like, I'm going to move out of here. I got to get back to my roots. But now I'm like, I'll just travel and come back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah,
I'm
this
like,
this
I
is a
love
great home
Utah.
base for sure.
Yeah. Well, and we see it now more than ever, right? Like so many families are coming here
Oh yeah,
because of the culture and the growth and economy and all the things we have to offer.
we do. We do.
So that's amazing. It
Yeah.
was so cool to hear this side of things. Like,
Oh, thank you.
not often enough do we know what's actually happening in new construction, and it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It's like
No.
get in there, ask Skye about it, and I know you'd be happy to help anyone, whether or not it's in your community, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I can speaking from, from firsthand experience,
Yeah.
I can really help people. But I believe in the product that I sell.
Yeah, and I love that.
So, and with new home construction, you're not going to be picking gum out of the floor. You're going to know
Yes,
what's
yes,
behind the
yes.
walls.
That's the big
Uh-huh.
cons, right?
Yeah, there you
And I'm
go.
sure there's warranties and oh
Yeah.
yes.
So you can feel more comfortable moving into a home that you're spending thousands of dollars, hundreds and thousands of dollars for. It's a big decision, and so I'm not the high pressure salesman. I give people the facts, and people can handle the truth.
Yeah,
So
well, and
I'm
that's
as truthful
refreshing.
as I can. I
Yeah.
don't want them to go in with not having all of the facts. And I hear that coming from some other builders, and so I want to take that away.
Yeah.
I want people to
Thank
know
you.
everything that they're paying for and everything that they get. So it makes it a lot easier for
Well,
everybody.
well, I really appreciate that. It's very refreshing. So let me hear, what is the advice that you would give yourself, or maybe just
Yeah.
somebody kicking off their career, whether they're going to
Mm.
be doing, traditional sales or new construction? What's a piece of advice that you think would have really changed the trajectory that maybe you've learned along the way and now you implement, or however you want to call
Oh
it?
my goodness. I'm probably not the guy to ask that of.
You are definitely the guy. You're top 500, you're genuine, and you're really connecting with people. And I think that's really beautiful and different.
So you have to know yourself.
Hmm.
Um, it's something that I've always realized. I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. I knew that new home construction would be good for me because I grew up selling men's clothing. That was like a family business that we had.
Oh, okay. How neat.
So I knew that if I had something beautiful to show, that it would work out. I also knew that it would be hard work, and that you'd have to gain those relationships along the way. And the faster you can gain those relationships with other realtors and people in the community, um, the better off you're going to be. So make good relationships. If you have a little bit of success, stay humble, right? And just be grateful,
Yeah.
for every opportunity. Because I was able this year to, and I don't know how with interest rates as high as they've been, but
Yeah.
I sell a great community, but I've sold the most houses I've ever been able to sell in a year,
Wow. That's
following last
amazing.
year, and it's just like,
Another win to celebrate.
yeah,
Congrats.
absolutely. But it's because I've got a good builder, and honestly, like I feel like each person that walks through the door is a blessing. So
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. No, I love this, and you're absolutely right. I think every interaction we have is so. Thank you so much for.
Like I said, I'm a big
Oh,
softie.
I love this.
So
Yes, thank you for
yeah.
sharing. And yeah,
There
we're
you go.
so lucky to have had this opportunity.
Thank you.
I know that you are coming from a place of service because I can feel that. So
Thank you.
that's very beautiful.
Oh,
We're
I'm just a big softie, but I really
Hey,
am.
you know
I
what?
feel that
I
way
think
about
that
people.
is what we need. Like,
Yeah.
people need to be more in their emotions and
Uh,
coming from a place of service. So
Thank you.
I love that. Thank you for letting me see this part of you. And I just want to invite people to reach out to you because I think that it would be a blessing for them to
Yeah.
have someone like you be able to walk them through a new construction
Well, thank you.
and really anything. You have a lot of experience and great advice. So where can people find you? And I'll make sure it's on
Okay.
there. But if you just want to share your phone number and your
Yeah.
email, or if you are big on social media, of course,
No,
share
I'm,
that as
I'm not
well.
a huge social media guy, but if you want all of my information, www.righthomes.com/Jackson. That's, it'll take you directly to my information on Right Homes website. And then if you just want to text me, I am a big texter. I'm a professional texter, honestly.
Love that.
And my cell is 801-330-6277. And so if you're looking for a home, give me a text, give me a call. If you're a realtor just wanting to show, hey, I'll show you through my whole neighborhood. I'd love to walk you through. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And Skye Grant, everyone, again, thank you so much for your time
Thank
and
you.
for agreeing to do this.
Well,
So,
it's fun, like
yes,
you only grow if you get out of your comfort zone. So here I
I
am.
agree. Yay to that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.